Well, it's quite evident that the cost of food is rising for our families and our consumers and our businesses, and the cost of fuel to ship your products and to make your products are absolutely having an effect upon our American families and even upon your productivity and the people you employ, the profits you make, the expansion of your businesses. And I am one of those people who believe that we have to diversify our fuel sources and use all sources of fuel. And I am very concerned that our nation spends so much money, it's estimated to be about $500 billion in buying foreign energy from foreign countries, and that we import about 62% of our energy needs for our country. To me, that's a national security threat and an economic threat to your businesses in our country itself. But I am very concerned about the cost of food and families and the price of gasoline and how it's affecting everyone. So I'm interested in all your discussions about, do we have enough corn? Do we not have enough corn? Are we taking away from the wheat market and the land that's producible for wheat? And is that driving up the cost that affects the food supply and everything else? But I was interested in your comment a minute ago, is it Deneen? Deneen. Tell me again the cost of, if you were to eliminate ethanol corn production. You said the price of gasoline would go from $3 and something to $4 something?
When the analysis was run, the price of gasoline was $3.68 per gallon. That was a week ago. It's now $3.77. But and it was run based off of Governor Perry's request, which would be to eliminate 4.5 billion gallons of the 9 billion gallon renewable fuel standard. So only half. Some of the gentlemen have today testified that it should all go away. But just eliminating half of that and having to find 4.5 billion gallons of replacement energy would drive up gasoline prices $1.14 in the near term. In the longer term, the marketplace would adjust and the impact would only be about 13%. But nonetheless, it would still have a dramatically negative impact, and the skyrocketing effect in the beginning would be very painful.
Well, my question was, in looking at the $1.14, and I hope I was trying to follow the testimony, but didn't someone say that ethanol makes up about 7% of the fuels in the United States?
Yes, I did.
So if it makes up 7% of the fuels, why would we have such a large increase in the cost of gasoline if we did away with that or even cut it in half? Because
refinery supplies are so tight. There just isn't an additional 4.5 billion gallons of fuel supply to suddenly satisfy the increased demand.
Well, and we have been talking about the increased demand of fuel. I have a report here that's kind of interesting that is from the U.S. Energy Information Administration that states if we discovered the renewable oil in Anwar, it would give the United States 10.4 billion barrels of economically recoverable oil, which is twice the proven oil reserves in all of Texas, Mr. Gomert. And I guess my question is, do you feel that if we were to allow more exploration production in the United States, that it would help reduce the price of fuel, open up more supply in the marketplace, and maybe have an effect upon food costs?
Well, I absolutely believe that we need to be encouraging all forms of energy, particularly renewables, but all forms of energy. And our energy crisis right now is so significant, we need to take aggressive steps to assure that we are maximizing supplies. I do think, though, that with respect to Anwar, it would be 10 years before you'd see any gasoline from that region. And you have to look at what's available in the near term and what the consequences of actions might be in the near term.
You know what, it's interesting that you say that. I was reading some reports from 1991, 1994 in debates in Congress about whether we should drill in Anwar or not. And back then, one of the congressmen said it's not economically feasible to drill in Anwar because the barrel of oil is $17. Well, if you look at it 10 years today, when we didn't do it 10 years ago, now it's $124 a barrel, and 10 years ago we didn't think it would be worth it then, and here we are today in the mess we're in.
Good point.
And actually we did pass it in Congress, and it was vetoed in 1994.
And in 1990, they also didn't envision a renewable energy industry in this country as significant as it is today. But
Thank you,
thankfully,
Mr.
we made the
Chairman.
investment then, and we need to continue it.
That's right. I think my time's run out. Thank you.